Good day.
Good day, Bams. There you go.
I like it.
You're welcome.
I like it a lot.
Bamming hell.
Ben's feeling a little theatrical today.
So there's a lot to consider before moving to Australia.
You've got a lot of balls you're going to need to juggle.
A lot of balls.
That was a nice little visual there for everybody.
Yeah. Do you like the head going as well?
Bollywood juggling. Anywho, that is why it's crucial to have some kind of organisation structure in place so that you're not dropping any of these hypothetical balls. The checklist that we're talking about today is a guideline to work to, because obviously with everybody's situation there's something unique, so it's not going to be quite the same for everybody.
From visas to koalas, let's start talking emigrating.
Oh, I like that. One on the pre-move checklist is to get your visa done, because it's the most time-consuming thing you're going to do. It's also the thing that's out of your control. So you can't really organise anything else and decide anything else until you've got that visa come through. Also, you don't really want to pay out for anything else until you've got your visa in. Once you've had your visa come through, then you can set your end date, the date that you want to move to Australia, and then reverse engineer everything back from there. If, for example, you decided that you're going to be moving in December, then you need to work out how you're going to get everything else done before that. Plot it all on a timeline. It's super helpful. Once you've got your end date, then you can book your flights, your temporary accommodation, because you're going to need somewhere to stay until you can find your rental property. And also you need to work out how you're going to get from the airport to the temporary accommodation. So you might want a rental car.
And with that, make sure it's big enough, because you're going to be bringing a lot of luggage with you.
Also, if you've got children, make sure you book those car seats, because the ones that you've had in another country won't be to Australian standards, so you'll need Australian car seats. And another thing to bear in mind is that you won't have phone network. You'll need to hire a sat-nav as well. Otherwise you could end up lost, and that would be really silly, wouldn't it, Ben?
It would be.
We did that. I had a sat-nav, but we hired 2 cars, and so Ben didn't have a sat-nav.
And I ended up following the wrong car off of the motorway. But lucky enough, I realised, and Maz drives slow, so I caught her up.
Yeah, but bearing in mind this was before we had working phones, so it wasn't as easy as being able to just call each other. We had a lucky escape, but just bear that in mind. If you decide you don't want to drive immediately after a long flight, you could also get an airport transfer and then just hire your hire car the next day. I reckon it's a really good amount of time to maybe book a hire car for a couple of weeks, and that way it gives you time to find a car once you arrive. Next, we need to work out who you're going to notify. So maybe it's the banks, the utility companies.
Your mum.
Yes, that's a good one. Make a list and check it twice, because you do not want to leave anyone out. We have actually got some who to notify checklists on our website, so I'll link those in the description. Number 5, and this seems to be the one that a lot of expats don't have in place, but it's something Ben and I strongly advocate for. I think this is something you need to work out before you leave to move to another country. You need to make sure you've got some kind of emergency plan in place.
What we've always said is we'll keep some money to the side, so if anything happens to a family member, we've got the money to rush back if need be, just so you always got that peace of mind.
Moving to another country can be a little bit unknown, so it's also a security blanket. But if for any reason things didn't work out, you've always got the comfort in knowing I've got enough money to get back safely. Most expats have something happen at some point where they need to dash back. We've had to use it. We've had to dip into it on one occasion when Ben's mum passed away.
Yep, and also we've had to go back once more because Maz needed some more washing powder.
emergency situations, you see.
It was.
Anywho, what we're trying to say is that if you've got a situation happen within your family that's an emergency, you're already going to be stressed out. The last thing you need to be doing is stressing about money or what happens in an emergency. So you need to have something planned. Maybe you've got young children and you need to plan what would happen to them as well if you had to dash back.
So the next one is pets.
You need to work out what's going to happen with your pets, because obviously all of us say, oh, we would never leave our pets behind, but maybe your pet is too old or it's not safe for them to travel. You really need to think about what's going to happen, but also get in contact with the pet relocation companies, because it really isn't as simple as it sounds. It's not a case of putting them on an aeroplane and meeting them at the other end. There's a lot of quarantine regulations and things that you have to do. So it's not simple. You need to find that out early on, work out if it's worth it for your pet, how costly it's going to be. If your pet is going to stay without you, then who are they going to live with?
And also, are they pets that can come to Australia as well? Don't worry about bringing hamsters and goldfish.
Hey.
Well, they're pets that can be easily replaced. They don't last long, do they?
People who like pets don't like to hear things like that.
Just don't bring goldfish.
Do you reckon people can actually be attached to a goldfish?
Depends how long they had it for.
How long do goldfish live?
A few years.
It's not like they've got personality, is it? It's like, oh, that goldfish, it's so cute. Like, it's so funny.
It might be, if it swims upside down or something weird.
I don't really get the fish thing.
Yeah, but you don't like fish.
No.
To eat
But
or look at.
As a pet, I just don't really get it. Anyway.
Could be an expensive one.
That's beside the point.
Yes. Anywho. So number 7 is your arrival checklist.
Let's get it prepared before you leave, because there are a number of jobs that you need to get done as soon as you arrive. For example, you'll need a tax file number, you'll need Medicare, you'll need bank accounts. You'll need many things to be sorted out. You'll want an arrivals checklist for when you arrive.
You can also get these free on our website.
Head to our website and you can download a copy. I reckon a good one is to clear out your clutter. You definitely don't want to be receiving your treasures on the other side of the world and realise that you've got a monster-sized box of coat hangers.
Yes, no one wants a monster box of coat hangers, do they, Maz?
That would be absolutely stupid to pack that.
Especially as you've bought more coat hangers when you got here.
Yes, absolutely stupid. Anyway, the point is, clear out your stuff. Start getting rid of anything you don't need, and it's really good for you actually. It just makes the whole process a lot easier the sooner you start getting it done.
It's like clearing out the soul.
Yeah, and it's also good if you need to sell a house, because you want it looking spick and span and not cluttered.
Yep, sometimes you have to going to be a little bit harsh and just get rid of things you think, oh, do I really want to get rid of that? If you're thinking about, do I need to get rid of it? You probably do. So the next one is get your finances in line.
You're going to need everything you've got when you move to Australia. While there are people that move over with millions, there are also people that move over with $10,000, and they have to make it stretch. So whatever your financial situation, you've got to know your numbers, because you don't want to end up overspending and getting yourself in debt. It's not the way to start your emigration adventure.
No, you're just adding more and more stress to yourself.
So know your numbers, get all of the finances that you need to get in line. And on that note, you're going to need to sell up. If you've got a property, well, I mean, I suppose you don't have to sell up,
no,
but if you're going to sell up.
Yeah, I was going to say, we know a few people that have kept their houses in the UK and just rented those out until they know they're settled and if they want to buy here or they're just going to rent here.
But you've also got to bear in mind that there might be tax implications in Australia when you do that. So find out about that first. But if you are going to sell up, then that needs to be something that you start doing. Maybe there's a few improvements you need to do before you put your property on the market. That's one of the big things that you need to do. That's a massive task. We know that from personal experience because we've sold a lot of houses, that it is a massive task to get a house ready for sale because, again, you want all the money that you can out of it. So you want your house to be pristine when you sell up.
And obviously you've got cars and stuff like that you might need to sell.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's not just the house that needs selling up, it's everything.
Everything, yeah.
You're going to need to time these things that you're selling up. So for example, we got rid of our cars a little bit too early and then we had to walk everywhere, and that was silly. Make sure you factor in any eventuality for when you're selling up as to whether things go really quickly or whether it takes that little bit longer than you wanted it to. This might not be for everybody, but maybe you want to start your job hunt before you arrive in Australia. Plenty of people do. Some people wait until they get there, but particularly if you're one of those people on a shoestring budget, maybe you want to try and gain employment before you actually move. And then when you arrive, you've got a new job to go straight to.
That it also helps you work out your finances, how much you'll have budgeted for when you get here.
At least then you're not using your savings on everyday costs.
Maybe start the job about 3-4 weeks after you get here, because you always do that honeymoon period or like the holiday period. So you get here and you'll feel like it's a holiday, and then you jump into real
I
life.
reckon people on a shoestring budget need to just jump straight in.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe 1 week, give yourself a week to rest and then just get straight into it. Because if you are tight on money, maybe you do only come over with 10 grand cash, then you really need to just get working.
Get on with it.
As Nana would say.
As Maz would say as well.
Just get on with it.
Get on with it, princess.
If you've got anything that you think should be added to this checklist, we would love to know in the comments.
Yeah, because we are a community and we're all here to help each other.
We love to hear from other expats actually. You've got invaluable experience to offer our community as well.
And you can check out one of our Facebook groups.
So we have got a Facebook group, it's called Expats Downunder. Make sure you join that because there's loads of help for people who have arrived in Australia, and also there's some members of the group who haven't yet arrived but they're already making friendships within the group. It's a private group where you can share your experiences, share your ups, share your downs, and have events or share an accomplishment that maybe you can't share with others. Anyway, there's some links in the description of some of the resources that we've spoken about in this video, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.